Warning, this game contains content that might not be suitable for most audiences. Viewers' discretion is advised.
When you're an artist, you must push yourself to create. You have to contort your body, let your guts burst from your stomach as you bend backwards, 4 angles, for brushstrokes. You have to break the glass in your mind to allow the forbidden to possess your hands. You have to break what's already been created to make something even more meaningful. You have to destroy something for your art. You don't know if it'll be your canvas or yourself. I might not be breaking my body today, but I'm breaking my routine. I picked up my phone and decided that opening social media is the best way to start my day off. I've been living in this town for a few months at most, trying to get some inspiration. The quiet beauty of a small, historic town nestled in Pennsylvania welcomed me. Its people welcomed me as well, but it was only in the politeness of strangers. A coffee shop encounter never went past pleasantries. In the new town, I was alone. I joined a few online groups for different hobbies in the area: bird watching, maple syrup, cultivation. But I've been most interested in the photography group. Let's see, do they have any events coming up? Gallery events, coffee talks, camera exchanges. None of that was soon. I refreshed the page again. A new post pops up on my feed. It's for a photography walk in the borough. Come walk through the historic streets, visiting peak photography opportunities throughout town. Bring your own camera and water. Starts at 12 p.m. at the coffee shop on Miller Street. Hosted by Adonis D'Amour. Interesting name. I tap on the link leading to the host's website. Fascinating stuff. They seem to do a lot of portrait and fashion photography. It was like looking into the world of high fantasy novel. Even flow of fabric and hair. Decoration with flora, even foliage. I press on the About tab. Adonis was young and in their mid-20s. Seems they've always lived in the seclusion of the state's forest. Would be nice to know what they look like though. I breathed a sigh of relief. I've been fearing not finding a photographer in a similar age and interest range as me. The photography walk started in 2 hours. Wouldn't be a bad idea to go out, meet some new people, and maybe take some photos. I pressed the RSVP button on the event. It asked for my name and email. My name is Lion. I type out Lion for the name box and my email for the other. The RSVP has been confirmed. I place my phone back on my nightstand and set up to stretch. I have a few hours before the walk. I place a needle on my record player and begin my morning routine. I open one of the windows and allow the crispy must of fall to fill the room. There is a chill in the air, but it is one that may be cured by abundance of sweaters. No candle can capture the pure essence of a Pennsylvania autumn. I eat, get dressed, brush my teeth. I bundle up as necessary. It takes me longer than needed to decide what camera and camera cases to bring. I make sure to pack an extra lens. Let's hope I get some good pictures today. The borough is as beautiful as it ever been. The local troops have already come through and painted the local business windows with horror movie icons and autumn imagery. Every business has its doors open to allow the smell of fall in. The local flower store is selling their famous chocolate chip cookies once more. Miller Street is beautiful, albeit short. I reached a coffee shop in no time. Maybe I should get a coffee before I go. Get some coffee? Hell yeah! Coffee is the song sung by the siren that is an autumn midday. I step into the coffee shop. Scattered among the seats are various patrons. 4 people sit by a window, knitting a scarf in unison, laughing over cappuccinos. A couple sits near the back door, though they're more interested in their cups than themselves. There are a few sitting alone with their laptops out. I doubt they're getting any work done. The man working the counter has always been kind to me. He offered directions and given me hints to secret spots around town, whether for food or for photos. It's hospitality I've never gotten used to. What do I order? A soy white chocolate mocha, an iced cappuccino, a black coffee. Iced cappuccino. Wait, why would I go for an iced cappuccino? You can't even feel the foam with that. I'll just go for a black coffee, frick. It might be good to order something basic. I ordered a black coffee. My eyes glance over the food options, pastries, sandwiches, and a bowl of fruit. The fruit looks rotten. I swear, I spot a fly crawling into a hole in a piece of cantaloupe. Yeah, excuse me. Huh? What's up? There's flies in one of these cups. Sorry I pointed out. Sorry. It's best not to mention the rot. The barista leans over the counter and grabs the plastic bowl and examines it. These are perfectly fine otherwise. Maybe we should close the door. Fine? Are their eyes wrong? Thank you for catching this, though. Don't worry about paying for your drink. It's my fault. But it's not your fault. There's nothing I can do. My order is taken and I'm swept away to order by the counter near the entrance, waiting for my drink to be made. The breeze outside offers a warm backdrop to the idle chit-chat of the other patrons. I do my bit of people watching and only now notice the other person standing, waiting for a drink. Hot! Oh god, they lean against the wall, fiddling with a lace cuff on their sleeve. It looks like they have a camera bag on the person as well. Could they be going on the photography walk as well? I slowly approach them and give them a wave. Hello! They slowly look up from their hands and scan my entire body. Lion? They know my name. How did you know my name? Sorry. You have a camera bag on you, so I assume that you were the single person to sign up for the walk today. I'm Adonis. It's good to meet you. The breath I was holding exhaled and the sweat forming on my brow disappeared. It's nice to meet you. You made me all nervous. Sorry about that. No, it's nothing to apologize for. Adonis is not what I was expecting. Adorning their face is red makeup, hidden behind red sunglasses. It is sunny today, but not sunny enough to warrant them. Perhaps they are sensitive to lights. Something about their clothes makes them seem older than they look. I don't think I've ever seen you before. Are you new to town? Yeah, I moved here a few months ago. It's very beautiful and cozy here. Isn't it? Got a slightly bitter hazelnut macchiato with cream for an Adonis? Thank you. Adonis grabs a drink and immediately brings it to their lips. You're not even gonna give it a second to cool. I killed the heat sensors on my taste buds years ago. I couldn't help but laugh. How often do you do these walks? You usually only get one person. I try to host them monthly. I usually get a few to attend. A lot of older folks, kind-hearted people. They take some of the prettiest pictures I've ever seen. But I'm wondering if I scheduled this walk over a mahjong tournament, since you're the only one who has shown up. Which is perfect. I can show my new neighbors some of my favorite spots. Do you go down the river very often by the park? There are some very pretty sights to be had there. There's a waterfall that's hidden in the trees. It's gorgeous. I have a black coffee for Lion? That's me. Thank you. I grab my cup of coffee off the counter and double-check the name written on the cup. I can't read the handwriting. Do you want to finish outside? The air is crisp. I nod and went outside with Adonis. We sat in silence for a few minutes, finishing up our drinks, checking our phones and our equipment. Adonis finishes their drink first, pouring out the little liquid left before recycling. I follow suit shortly. So, Lion, have you ever been on a photography walk before? Have I been on a photography walk before? Yeah, quite a few. Ah, good. So you know what they entail. I have a theme in mind already. What's the theme? How does life cycle sound? Very broad, but also very specific. That's good enough for me. Excellent. If you have any questions, concerns, or anything else, just let me know. Adonis starts walking down the street, taking their camera out of their bag as they do. I follow along. Our first stop is a small garden across from a Quaker cemetery, enclosed in a fading white fence. Adonis let me take some pictures first. I pull out my Canon and try to zoom in close to some limp leaves delicately falling off the flower stems. I know the couple that lives here. Older folks, very sweet. The husband runs the hardware store in town. Sometimes you see a cute cat running through, but doesn't seem like she's out today. I zoomed in on the closest bunch of flowers. Really? A cat? Yes, I don't know what kind she is, but she's white with one blue eye and one brown eye. I think her name is Lavinia. I just call her Jiggles, though, because she has a cute bell on her collar that signals her arrival strides before she crosses your path. It sounds really cute. I hope we see her today. Perhaps. In the flash off, I snapped a few more images. The couple's been keeping this garden for a few years. It was overgrown long before. There's a rumor that while they were starting to clear the weeds out, they found a body buried under the soil. Well, really? Really. Did they ever find out whose body it was? No. There's quite a rumor that what they found was a skeleton that was mixed with deer antlers and bear bones. I turn back to Adonis, who has their camera pointed towards me. They click a photo. Do you think there's anything to it? The bones. They ask if I believe the skeleton wasn't tampered with. The skeletons were real. I believe in things I do not know. Maybe there are actual deer men who walk among men. Adonis laughs. I agree with your first statement, but I don't think I believe in the second. How would a man with antlers wear a hat, huh? Would they have to cut holes in the fabric? Would it not be uncomfortable with the natural curves of the antlers, make it difficult to put on antique? That is so true, Adonis. God, oh no, I am falling so hard for Adonis. Frick, he is just, oh. I feel it would be an inconvenience is all. You know those adjustable straps on baseball caps? They could have used those. Perhaps. It sure would make it difficult to walk through doors. Going through them sideways probably feels awful. Just know it. Adonis lowers their camera and places it back in their bag. We should continue. You know this garden exists. Adonis continues walking, and I follow along. We pass another cemetery with a decaying metal fence. Walking along the perimeter is a black dog with its nose buried in fallen leaves. Oh, hi! Lean down to snap a few pictures of the dog, which doesn't seem to flinch at my camera's shutter. Oh, hello there. Adonis crouches and reaches out to the animal, but they do not pet it. What are you doing out here? It's light outside. The hand runs over the pavement before it descends into the dirt. Squirming among the fresh dirt and soil are worms, which follows the creases in Adonis's hands. They hold their palm facing the sky and bring it towards the dog. Now, there's no one who will be stealing from the graves at this time of day. Did you just want a snack? The dog, with its eyes clouded over like watered-down milk, looks at Adonis as if it was thinking of a rebuttal. Instead, it closes its eyes and begins to lick up the feast of vermin. I cannot help but observe. I feel slime at the tip of my tongue, slowly finding its way down my throat. I wipe the taste from my own mouth. Did you appear just for a treat? The dog only makes chewing, slurping noises. Well, you're allowed for revealing yourself to a new neighbor. The dog finishes its meal. Adonis allows himself to a few scratches behind its ears. Before I can say anything else, it runs off and disappears behind the tombstones. I look in disbelief. Quickly, I go to check the photos I had just taken. Each one showed only a metal fence and dead leaves scattered across the grass. There was no dog. Everything alright, Lion? It's not here. You expect to capture footage of the black gods of the graveyards? They seem serious. I suppose not. I feel as if I'm being pulled along the street as Adonis wipes their head of dirt and continues walking. I follow along. Adonis takes me to an abandoned white building near the forest. Vines and leaves crawl up the walls, framing haphazardly painted graffiti and late-stage decay. What was this building meant for? It used to be a beer store. The building has been abandoned for a few years. Are you going to tell me that's closed down because someone died in there? Or that there's some spectral figure roaming the building? It keeps barking at passers-by as it craves some beer that no longer exists. Adonis laughs. Nothing like that. They ended up moving locations to a smaller store in a nearby strip mall. There aren't a lot of beer drinkers in the area who enjoy the drink past a bottle or two for sport events. It got overtaken by a general wine and spirits store instead. I may love ghosts and local legends, but this is not one of those tours. Does an organization give ghost tours in this town? The Cultural Society hosts a few during Halloween. Some of the homes do historic house tours around Christmas time. It's quite nice. You should come to one soon. My home is usually on display then. It was built in the early 19th century by a carriage maker. How strange. Why bring me here? Because the life cycle of things applies to not just living things. Thoughts die, businesses die, structures die, hope dies. But those ashes bring new life, and the cycle continues. I snap a few photographs at different angles, some showing the sky and the building, some focusing on the foliage. Adonis has their camera out, but their lens falls onto me. I assume the pictures they are taking are for promotional material for future walks, and think nothing of it. We finish our photography in silence. Adonis takes off. I look back at the abandoned building and swear I see a figure standing in a broken window, unmoving. I follow along. Adonis and I arrive at the forest-turned park at the edge of town. The autumn air tastes better than in the borough. I stick my tongue out to get a better scope of its taste. Autumn tastes like spiced whiskey and cinnamon, like ginger and bread and vanilla essential oil. Under my tongue is the remnants of nutmeg. You don't get this anywhere else. Appalachia is a stone's throw away from here. We have our own old magic. We walk along the river for a few minutes, stopping every so often to take pictures. So, Adonis. Yes, Lion. I want to know more about them. What do you like photographing? Saw your portfolio. That doesn't tell me a lot about someone's photographic interest. I used to be really into fantasy, folklore, and the life. I did a series like that for a while. I've done wedding photography, but in an artistic sense. I don't like the still wedding photos people take now. Your bond is an art. Capture it as such. But right now, I'm very interested in the senses. Video allows us to see and hear an image. I want to be able to taste it, to smell it, to put my hands through the glass and feel the textures. That's why I wanted to focus on life cycles today, because sometimes seeing what you may become will trigger sensations in those senses. Not sure if that makes any sense. It does. Thank goodness. We continue our walk along the riverside. Before long, Adonis stops. They put a finger to their lips and point towards the grass. Through the blades, I spy a dark lump. It matches the soft sounds of buzzing of flies and the squirming of worms. In the grass, I spot a deer, laying on its sides, its eyes shallow and black, its antlers up to the sky, its mouth agape. The carcass has become home to maggots squirming in its insides, revealing its intestines. Gnawing off legs no longer found in physical form, all there is left are strings of meat, white, juicy, pulsing. My eyes widen, my mouth waters. I raise my camera up, lens towards the corpse, and take pictures. The vermin writhe under sinews and eat the tendons. They make new holes for a temporary home. These animals must constantly move. They must constantly slither. They eat their homes until all that is left is blood and bone. And they must move on. The maggots and the worms are the nomads of the animal kingdom. They will exhaust their resources and force themselves to flee. And by God, is it spectacular. Once I've finished taking my pictures, Adonis continues walking. I'll follow along. We stop a few more times. It must have, at least. The sun is beginning to set, and yet it feels like we've only been out for a couple hours at most. Adonis laughs with the prettiest voice in the world. We scroll through our photographs and speak of the lighting, the composition, the colors. I do not remember a word. But what is most fascinating is that for most of it, we are alone. Nothing living interrupts us. We find dead birds and dead trees, rocks and rivers and paved trails and left behind trash. So when we are suddenly within sight of a girl, maybe in her 20s, sitting along the water with a book in one hand, I'm taken aback. When we approach, she does not look back at us to see the source of the coming noise. Hello? She does not respond. She continues to look out to the setting sun across the rippling water, tugging at the ruin of her slip dress and the smooth surfaces of her skin. I said I wanted to be alone out here. Did you not listen? The girl makes a movement now. Her knuckles turn white from gripping fabric. You know what this means, don't you? She seems to nod. Adonis turns to me. They pull out the camera from their bag. Lion, put your camera away. I do as I'm told. And take this. They rummage through one of their pockets and hands me a knife. It feels old, judging by the scratches on the blade and the string wrapped around a metal hilt. Stand. The woman stands up and faces us. Her visage is plastic, eyes milky, swirling, empty. Adonis quickly stabs the woman in the neck. A screech from her throat is cut short by her coughing. She throws up blood like a dog who has thrown up a bad treat. They push the knife in deeper, twist it so the flesh twists around as well. I find myself unable to look away, like my eyes will be torn from my sockets if I even think of shining my eyes from the metal. But I am able to breathe again when Adonis pulls it out of her neck and licks the blood off the blade. She groans for a second, but her noises are quickly muffled. The pain has stolen her voice box. They hand it to me. I take it as they step towards the trail. Lion. Adonis readies their camera, bringing it to cover most of the face. In her death, her body is still fresh. I want you to cut her. Where? My words move faster than my thoughts, but once they catch up, they are the same. My mouth becomes wet. My eyes feel warm, ignited. Start with her cheek. I raise the knife to be inches away from the woman's skin. Her breathing is hot and heavy next to me. It is welcoming in this autumn chill. For a few moments, I hesitate. I look over to the camera once more. Adonis says nothing, their finger hovering over the shutter release. I cut her cheek. Adonis snaps a photo. The viscosity is thick. Blood has always been thick, but this was thick like maple syrup, like oil. I reach my hand out to touch it. My fingers swirl around the wound before I find them in my mouth. It tastes like an expensive raspberry sauce found on the side of a desert. Adonis takes another picture as I ready the knife again. I find a good, soft, thin piece of skin in her neck and stab the knife into there. The blood squirts. The woman, no, her body flinches. As the organs in their ceased function gag on her own fluids, it drips onto her dress. I drag the knife down. Her skin, her bones, her organs, they are all tough, beautifully carved, constructed by nature herself to block my knife from cutting a straight line. It takes effort. Sweat drips down my knuckles and collects in the grass. I pry the woman open with my fingers like her body is a door. Her innards spill from her stomach, and a desire to squirm like the worm scavenging the deer further down the path. I grab at the gore inside her and pull some out before I shovel it into my mouth. It tastes sweet, like strawberry cake drizzled in vanilla icing. I close my eyes and savor, allowing syrup-like blood to drip down my lips. Quickly, she falls into the grass and I join her. I become a vulture among the sound of spit and a camera shutter. I ravage her, my teeth gnawing at her jugular, turning stringy with each bite I take. My tongue licks at the ribs in her torso. I don't know how long and how much I take of her for some punishment I'm unaware of. But by the time I'm done, I do not recognize her. I do not feel sick. I do not feel pain. I do not feel remorse. Look back at Adonis as I lick the blood from my fingers. He captured another photograph of me. They lower the camera and smile. That was beautiful. I don't have anything to say. I move my lips to say something, but any thought is lost in the saliva. You should clean yourself up. I'll deal with this. Adonis looks down at the woman and pushes up their glasses. With a swift motion, they kick her once, allowing her body to fall into the river. We watch as the water washes away the bile and blood covering her body. She floats down the river, aimless, before being taken away by a fast surge of white rapids. I wash my face and my arms in the water. I throw off what had been ruined of my clothes and throw together what I can to look presentable. I can walk you home. No one will say a word, all right? You'll be fine. I nod, and we begin to take the path back into town. The evening breeze sends a chill down my spine. I rub my arms together to generate what warmth I can get together. Adonis says nothing as we walk home. I don't need them to. The town is quiet. Everything shuts its doors around 7 o'clock. There's not a soul on the sidewalks, nor in a vehicle on the roads. I feel satisfied with today's walk, and something in me wants to do it again. Oh my god. Well, that was Fatal Focus. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to play this game for yourself, link to the game will be in the description below. And yes, this was made by Cat'sKid, the developer of Art Without Blood, and a lot of absolutely beautiful games. I really recommend you guys check them out. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.